Hello and welcome to a game between HuK and SlayerSHeart. HuK will be playing as the blue Protoss player at the upper right hand corner, whereas SlayerSHeart will be playing as the red Terran player at the lower left hand corner. This is GG Face and the map is going to be Xel'Naga Caverns. It looks like SlayerSHeart will be trying to block off his ramp with a barracks along with a supply depot, and he will be scouting the top part of his map with a SCV, and that SCV has determined there are no hidden pylons from HuK just yet, and inside the base of HuK he does have a gateway and an assembler on the way, and he will be coming in with this probe, just checking out the base of SlayerSHeart at the moment. I went to a taping of the Colbert Report this week, and it was an awesome experience. Even though I had to wait 2 to 3 hours in the freezing cold, it was well worth the wait. The show was great, the audience was absolutely energized by his presence, and of course I signed up to go back, and it got me thinking. Both times that I got invited to go, I had to go as a tag-along buddy for my friend, and my friend is a female, and it got me thinking, maybe I should sign up under a more female name. In any event, it looks like this SCV will be coming back to scout HuK's base, and HuK does have one of these cyber cores, and it looks like the barracks is getting a tech lab attachment, and 3 SCVs are on the gas line, so we might be seeing some early Reapers possibly. The Reapers are a little bit nerfed than the previous patch because their speed upgrade, which was what makes them so great, has been upgraded or downgraded to the factory. So it does take a little bit more time for that to get upgraded, and this probe is dancing back and forth, touching and not touching that Xel'Naga Watchtower in the middle, and looks like the first Stalker will be coming out momentarily for HuK, as that is exactly what he needs to defend against the Reaper. But I don't think he actually sees that there is a tech lab. He does not see that there's a tech lab attached to the reactor. There's one Marine at the bottom of the ramp trying to prevent the probe possibly from going up the ramp, and it looks like the SCV will break off here, and HuK will take control of the Watchtower once again, and he will be building a robotics facility slightly off to the south of his base, and it looks like this Reaper is going to come around possibly the long edge. He should be setting his rally points all the way almost inside the base of HuK at the moment, and one Marauder will be coming out, and there's also going to be one gateway, and ooh, this is very good play by HuK. I think he caught a glimpse of that SCV. He is hunting for it with that Stalker, but the SCV does turn around miraculously. It's almost as if these two players know each other's playstyles exactly, but that is very creepy and scary. And the SCV is going to chill here for a moment as the Reaper is running back and forth. There's going to be 2 gateways and a pylon coming on, and it looks like inside the base there is going to be 1 command center and 2 additional sets of barracks going up, and the Reaper is leaping up to the high ground. There's going to be 1 sentry in, making it in time to deal with this sort of harassment. The Reaper does run back out, and it looks like that sentry was slightly stuck behind. And this one Stalker, meanwhile, got a kill on the side on that SCV. Great play there, multitasking very well. And now I think HuK is trying to hunt down the Reaper that is around his base, and the Reaper does barely escape the Stalker and the sentry. And this Stalker should probably go the other way, and he is, and the Reaper is going to run back and forth and try to escape, and the Reaper is not going to be able to run that way. Marauder stem pack is going to be researched along with 1 observer coming out for HuK, and HuK is also going to be opening out with a Nexus because he realizes his opponent is probably going to be expanding at the same time as well. These Stalkers are unable to find that Reaper. The Reaper is hiding down here. In the meantime, some infantry are going to be moving out to the natural expansion for SlayerSHeart, and the Reaper probably will go down momentarily as the 2 Stalkers do collide onto their course, and it looks like 2 Marauders, and 3 Marines are pushing throughout the map, and 1 observer will move them back a little bit. I think you can actually spot the observer relatively easily if you do not play on the ultra or the high setting, because if you put it on a low setting, this is not as transparent as it seems to be at this moment, and of course that is your choice. I don't know if it's a little bit cheesy, but it's up to you. And there's going to be 1 proxy pylon placed on the side. We see a rather large army of Stalkers, actually only about 4. This number of Marauders should definitely be able to take them on, but they do not yet have the concussive shell upgrade. They do have the stem pack on the way, and the army size is going to be at 51 against 52. The combat shield is also going to be researched for the Marines, giving them that plus 10 HP, and the income tab will reflect a slight advantage or a tremendous advantage at this moment, because I think he does have extra mules, and it looks like the Stalkers are coming from the side, but HuK does have 2 gas at the moment, so he is ahead in gas, and the Stalkers are going to come in here and pick off some of the SCVs, and the Stalkers have gotten a lead in terms of units lost for HuK. HuK's forces are divided here. He might be in a little bit of trouble, but if he can get some force fields off, he does get 2 force fields, very good force fields. The Stalkers are running away. Meanwhile, the Zealots and the Sentries are engaging the Marines and Marauders, and the Stalkers have gotten pretty safely away. He did take down additional units, and he has not yet lost any units, which is really good, and he's going to need to run back, because as soon as those force fields run out, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble if he's not together with his units. And it looks like he will be producing 1 Immortal along with additional probes at the moment. Both players are trying to gear up for a rather macro-oriented game with a lot of economy backing up its army, and the army size is at 74 against 71 against 75, 76. And Concussive Shell is finally being researched. Concussive Shell will allow the Terran player to slow down the unit and possibly snipe off the edges of the pack. And it looks like he does engage here, and ooh, the Immortal goes down due to the focus firing of the Marines and the Marauder. Good choice there for the Terran player, and now HuK is trying to force field some of these units in, and he will be able to take down those final 2. He does manage to keep this 1 Stalker alive, very, very close to death there, and the army tab loss does show that HuK does still maintain that slight lead above SlayerSHeart. And SCVs are going into the middle, as this is still a very tense one for both these players, as HuK probably just wants to regenerate his shields before he attacks again. And the income tab does show that the Terran player is very much ahead of the Protoss player, as the Protoss player is trying to get a saturation on those 2 bases of mining. Additional mortals are coming out along with additional gateways that will probably be turned into warp gates. This is a very dangerous pylon, because this one pylon is powering pretty much all the essential functions of the Protoss player, and that is very dangerous. That is a design choice that you will have to make as a Protoss player. The great thing about this is it makes it very easy for you to chrono boost all these warp gates if you need to get units very quickly, and that is a huge plus. But at the same time, if you lose that one precious pylon, then everything goes dark. You'll lose electricity. It will be like the summer in New York City, where everybody is completely in the dark with their candles and holding each other's arms in balconies. And this SCV is holding the watchtower in the middle of the map, while additional Stalkers are being warped in at the moment for HuK. The army size is at 94 to 90, slight advantage for the Terran player, as he does have a great number of the Marine and Marauders. The upgrades for both these players are going to be at 0-0 at the moment, as HuK is going to get the Forge to begin his upgrade process. He does have the Robotics Bay, but he has not yet constructed a Colossus, and it looks like Colossus will be on the way, as the upgrade for the Observer speed is being done at the moment. And there is an Observer right here. This Observer is probably very, very visible to SlayerSHeart, but I don't know why he's not taking it down, because most people do follow their main army, and you don't usually want to move an Observer along with the main army. That is very, very dangerous. And the +1 is finally being researched for the Terran player, and his scan goes off. He knows exactly what he's going to be dealing with, and it looks like the 2 ghosts will move out to possibly EMP, and it looks like he's trying to get a nice spread. 2 ghosts go out. He does EMP, and only one of those things have enough for a force field. He does pop down 2 of force fields, and these units do not have the shields, are engaging at a very weak state, and the Colossus are coming over. Additional reinforcements are coming on the map for SlayerSHeart at the moment, and he does fall back a little bit, as that battle was won a little bit more by HuK, because he was able to more easily reinforce his units. The Colossus along with the Thermal Lance is being upgraded at the moment, and it looks like HuK is going to open at his 3rd base, and the army count is still in slightly favor of the Terran player SlayerSHeart, as he does have more resources to work with. I believe his income tab is a little bit slower than HuK at this moment. I believe HuK does have more probes, and they're about even on the gas income per minute is what I mean. Stalkers moving out across the middle of the map along with 1 Colossus and 1 Immortal, looks like, and this 1 Marine is going to check out what's going on. This 1 Marauder might go down, and he does back away, and the 1 Marine will find that his opponent has expanded to the natural expansion, not the natural expansion, the 2nd expansion for the Protoss player, and that is just very, very nice mind reading tricks for the Terran player. And Terran player is trying to get set up here. He does have the SCV slightly ahead of the rest of his army, so he does not want to have an engagement that is out of position. 1 Colossus do move over and roasty toasty on that Marine. Another scan goes off on top, and it looks like he did miss that Observer. The Observer is actually over here in the middle of the chasm, which is where the Observer is usually supposed to be. You want to maintain a stationary position for that Observer, and it looks like he will be opening a lot more pylons, and these pylons do cover, looks like, 2 of these buildings, but most of these buildings are not covered by pylons, and he's also going to be opening up 3 gateways, mixed for very, very easy access for the chrono boost being used on the warp gates. More and more units are being pumped out on the field as Zealot charge along with the +1 is being done by the Protoss player. I think a lot of players have a trouble deciding between either the armor upgrade or the weapons upgrade. It's really up to you, but if you have a very heavy Zealot mix, I would suggest the armor upgrade because that does increase their survivability by quite a bit. But if you have a rather large Stalker composition, then the weapon might be a little bit more well suited for you, and the army size are going to be at 148 against 144 advantage for the Terran player as he's moving up here with a ginormous army. He does have 2 Vikings to support and possibly harass the Colossus. Storm is going to be coming up momentarily as he is getting the Templar archives for HuK, and one Marauder will come in. He probably wanted to just bring a Marine instead. Marauders is a little bit more expensive for scouting than a Marine. It looks like both these players are moving into striking distance as the third base is going to go up for the Terran player momentarily, and he is regrouping here. The upgrades are 1-0, and he's also getting a nuke. Ooh, a nuclear launch detected is probably going to be coming soon. The observer is moving back and forth to see what his opponent has. The army size is at 166 to 166. Both are even, but the Protoss player, HuK, is supply block at the moment. He does have, it looks like, 4 Vikings. 4 Vikings should be sufficient to harass and try to do some damage to those Colossus as he's trying to move into a favorable position. More reinforcements are showing up on the way. He does have, it looks like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 barracks. 1 with reactor, 4 of them with tech lab. He is pumping out units non-stop, and the +1 armor upgrade is being researched for SlayerSBoxer. Both these players are moving back and forth. There will be a nuclear launch at the mineral line. I think HuK does see this. You could see a red dot on the screen. It looks like they're going to engage in the middle. He needs to pull off those probes on the side, and he does pull off the probes on time, and the Colossus and the Zealots are engaging. And the Colossus are going down relatively quickly to the Vikings, but I think HuK is losing this battle as he's losing a lot of those Colossus. He's lost all of those Zealots, and the Marauder heavy army is moving forward, trying to snipe off the Stalkers along with the Colossus, and he will be able to take down all of the Colossus, and he really needs additional Zealots here, but the Zealots aren't going to be quick enough to kill off these units as there are a lot of medevacs healing. And the Ghost with the nuke did provide a nice distraction for HuK, but he was able to save all of his probes there, and he might possibly lose this Colossus as well, as some probes are getting into the midst of things. HuK is in a very dangerous situation. He only has 7 Stalkers left, and he has that pull off a lot of his probes to stop mining, and now he's focused firing down. He barely survived that round. Another nuclear launch will be coming soon as he's building one of those nukes. The army size is at 102 against 66. HuK is hurting a lot, but he is staying in this game. He is a trooper. He's blinking back some of those Stalkers, microing it very well, squeezing out every last penny or mineral worth of these Stalkers, but the Stalker will probably go down to the STEM Marauder. 1-1 upgrades versus 2-0 upgrades. I think he really needs one of those armor upgrades, and a nuclear launcher is going to be detected on the expansion of HuK once again. He does pull some of the probes, so he should be relatively safe. This one Ghost, I think, only has 4 kills on some of the probes on the side, and the Terran army is going to be regrouping on the side. Ooh, he's trying to take down the simulator as well, which is a great idea. Planetary Fortress has gone up for SlayerSHeart on the side, and the observer is very, very quick. And the problem with these Templars is that you can get storms, which are great, but if you miss a storm like that time, ooh, he just wasted a storm on one of those Marines, and the rest of his troops actually backed up. Very, very great control there from SlayerSHeart. A scan goes off, seeing exactly what his opponent has. This scan is also very important because it allows the Ghost to do the EMP, and it looks like he will not be able to kill off that Ghost. And the problem with this is now that HuK is not going to have any energy for Storm. His enemy is coming in from the side. One Marine actually went up and got killed off by a Colossus. I think that was a misset rally point as another Marine goes down to a Colossus. Wow, that guy is burning on the ground. That is a nice animation. I really like that. And there are going to be 2 Marauders on the side as the main army is still being rallied inside the base of HuK. They're not doing too much, but now they're going to get pulled back. Very, very good recognition of a misset rally point there. Some of these probes are going to back mine over here as he lost a lot of the probes at the natural expansion to one of the defense that HuK had to sacrifice, and the income tab is going to show a huge advantage for the Terran player as he's entering the mid to the late stage of the game. I think he wants to make a few more pushes, or he's actually relatively happy. I think he might be willing to just back off here because HuK is at a huge disadvantage and the Stalkers are blinking backwards because he sees the medevacs along with the Vikings coming in, and he will back off accordingly. The huge players in this game are not only the Colossus but also the Templars. If the Templars are going to be EMP, then they're going to be very ineffective, especially when they have no energy. They really need that energy to work, and the Archons are pretty much the same thing. They have 350 shield, which is a great number, but at the same time, if they get EMP'd, they only have 10 HP, which is pretty much 1 or 2 shots by the Marines and Marauders, and the Marine Marauder are going to come in here on the side. He does warp in some of these Templars, and of course, the Terran player, SlayerSHeart, knows that he is going to bring them. He is going to bring the ghosts up, and he does a scans for those Templars, and the main army for HuK is going to move out to the middle of the map, and the ghost is going ahead, and he might get sniped off by the Templar, or no, he does get taken out by the Templar, and right now HuK is hurting a lot as he's going to lose his base. He is coming from behind, and this is not something you want to do. This is a reverse choke for the Protoss player, and he's left some of the Stalkers in the back as well. Not great control there, and I think he might have tried to engage a little bit differently. One storm goes off, not catching most of the units. Second storm, great storm there, and the units are trying to run away from the storms, and they do focus fire down, and these Archons are dying. 2 Archons actually die before they made it out of there, and army size is at 97 to 71. HuK is coming back a little bit as he does have more and more confidence in his ability to defend. He has defended this base very well, but the problem is that the Terran player is going to be on 3 base mining, and he does have a gold, whereas the Protoss player HuK does not yet have that. And the problem is with the Templars and their storm, and he's going to be using feedback, and he will take out only one of those ghosts, and the other 2 ghosts will probably be healed up, and I don't think that was a great use because you really want the energy for the storm, because storm does more damage to more than 1 unit at a time, and the +2 weapons upgrade is being researched by the Terran player SlayerSHeart at the moment. Army size is at 124 to 79. This is what happens when you give the Terran or anybody a lead, because they can just macro up very, very nicely, and there's going to be, looks like 8 barracks at the moment, and more attachments are being made. One of the factories are getting chased away by some of the forces of HuK, and we need storms here. He needs the storm. Ooh, that is a bad storm. He didn't catch too much of the unit. Stalkers blink in and take out the ghost, and now the medevacs are going to be retreating as HuK does have energy for additional storms. He does have enough energy for pretty much, I think, 1 storm each, or actually not even 1 storm each. 3 of those Templars have enough energy, whereas the 4th one does not. More Templars are coming in. He really needs to get off good storms. He needs to storm right on top of the units or slightly behind, I think, and it looks like there's going to be a scan that went off, and he is thinking about launching a nuke, and the probes are going to go away. That nuke has been proving to be a great distraction for the Terran player, providing the cover that he needs, and that I think actually went down. Feedback are going off on the ghost, but he really needs the storm. Storms are going off, but the Archons are being morphed in. He doesn't have that many units left. He really needs some Zealots, and these Archons are going to go down. I think Zealots are coming a little bit too late, and HuK has the GG. Hope you guys enjoyed that exciting game with the storms. This ghost only maintained only about 4 kills, and hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like what you see, please do subscribe to me at youtube.com/ggyourface. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys at the next game.